We're gonna drive around and explore Jackson Hole right now. Usually you like to go in the morning, early in the morning or later towards dusk so you can get a better chance of seeing wildlife. But we're gonna do it now. We had to park in this parking garage last night. Apparently after November 1st, you can't park anywhere on the street in downtown Jackson just in case it snows. The snowplows want to be able to push the snow to the side. So we got lucky and got to park here for free. They don't start charging until November 19th. So free parking instead of paying $75 for a valet. You don't have to go very far outside the town of Jackson just to see what this place is all about. We're at the National Elk Refuge, and there's a bunch of swans and ducks and other birds in the water. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but over there, there's a building at the edge of the Elk Refuge. It's the Hidden Hollow Apartments. Those were built in 2020, and right before they officially opened, the owners of that building passed away in a tragic airplane crash. And apparently 9 out of 12 family members perished in that crash. Tragic, tragic story. All right, we're done with the Elk Refuge right now. We're gonna head more towards the valley and see what we can find. Check out this photograph that Sia got. Or would they call that a black-billed swan? Or is that too obvious? All right, yeah. Perfect. It's so cool. Let's see the other one. Oh, that's neat. It's so weird to be at one of these lookouts and there's nobody else here. I was here about a month ago in mid-October. There's still quite a few people here. The valley was also filled with color, yellows, oranges, reds, purples. Not so much now, but actually I don't mind the browns and the sage color and the coming winter. I don't mind that. I like that actually. We spotted a moose on the side of the highway. If this was a month ago even, or peak season, you'd see so many photographers on the side of the road, and apparently we're the only one who spotted it. There's nobody else around. I mean, people are driving by, but nobody's stopping. But I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in and see if you can at least see it. You're gonna see some houses, and then right in front of the houses, there's gonna be probably like a little bump in the grass, but it's a moose. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom and post just so you can get a better view of it. But I swear there's a moose back there. Could walk towards it a little bit. I mean, there's still a lot of distance between the moose and I. They say to stay 25 yards away. It's gotta be 150 yards at least. Did you get a good picture of it?
I mean, yeah, but it's just a hump.
Yeah, you can see it right there. So we found the resident roadside bison herd right in front of the Tetons. I'm gonna walk this little trail to the fence line and see if I can't get a better vantage point. Windy over here, windy. I'm zoomed in as far as I can. And I'm gonna try to zoom in more during post, but you can see the specks. Those are indeed the bison, the American bison. Man, this wind is no joke. And here's a little bison patty for your viewing pleasure. We're at Mormon Row, and this is where you may have seen all the famous photographs of the barns and the homesteaders that were here once before. I still can't get over the fact that we get this place all to ourselves right now. I feel quite selfish. I mean, there was one guy back there, he's sitting in the back of his truck with the back open, just taking in the views. There's a couple people here, but that's about it. There you go. There's one of the famous barns in the background. I'll head over there. So back in October, I did some plain art painting of this barn and the Tetons in the background. Right over here. I had a little chair set up behind this stump, and the view was right here. It was actually my first plain art painting ever. Wasn't too happy with the results. If I saw this in the gallery that we just saw, that we just walked to, if I saw this, I'd probably be like, nah. I probably wouldn't even look at it. It made me want to paint and get better at it, and I did. I painted like 4 or 5 paintings after that. What a view, huh? Let's go check out that barn and get a close-up view of it. If any of these doors open up, see if there's any squatters inside. See if we can peek inside and see anything. Here, I'll give you guys a look. You see anything inside there? Probably not. All right, let's go around. There's probably a bunch of ground mice that live underneath, maybe some prairie dogs. Here's another little entryway. Does this open up? No, that doesn't open up. It's like there's a window in the back. And there's still some glass. See if you can get the reflection of the mountains in the back. Look, some moths. It's like a moth graveyard. Here's another entrance. Whoa. Oh yeah, that one opens up actually. Here we go, you get a little peek inside. This is inside one of those famous barns that you see in photographs in front of the Tetons. Wow. You got an exclusive peek. There's just something about being in nature, alone, no one else around. Just something so inspiring about that. And I think as we get further and further into a digital age, access to everything when we want it, the more that we need to come out to a place like this. And it's almost like a cleanse for the soul. It reminds me of an Instagram post that Brett Dennen put on his Instagram. If you don't know who Brett Dennen is, he's a musician, amazing musician and songwriter. But yeah, he put a Instagram post where he went outside and he was just telling everybody, you know, touch more mud, touch more dirt, touch more grass, feel the earth. Who knows? All around. Just inspiring nature. Hundreds and thousands of acres. All around us. All around. Here's some scat of some sort. Maybe a coyote, fox or something. It's hard to say. Always fascinated what was here before me. I guess that's the only way you could find out. Could you imagine living here, what the winters might be like back in, 1930s? I mean, it's one thing to spend a winter in 2025 when you have more amenities. If you lived out here, you can have your own Wi-Fi with Starlink and whatnot. But man, imagine spending a whole entire winter here in 1930s. How harsh it may have been. How windy it may have been. Let's go check out the outhouse. This outhouse is a good distance from the house. Look at this. Could you imagine having to go to the bathroom and run out here in the middle of the night in your onesie with the buttons in the back, in the rear? Man, that would be cold. You're probably running out here with your cowboy boots on, your onesie. See if we can get a vantage point of inside. Don't want to drop my camera. Hello? No, why? No, why? This is the backside of one of the famous barns that you see in photographs. Imagine the vermin that lives in these parts. This is inviting. Can we see in here? Give you guys a little vantage point of what it looks like inside. Can you imagine spending the whole entire day wrestling cattle, chasing pigs that escaped all day long or something like that? And then towards the afternoon or during the afternoon, lean up against a fence, crack open a nice cold one, take in the breeze, the afternoon sun, and just sip on a brewski. Can you imagine that? How nice that would be. I think I'm gonna go back to the SUV and see if there's a brewski on there. But before I do that, I need to find a stick. Here, I got one right here. I gotta get the mud off the bottom of my shoes. I got mud caked on both of my shoes. I gotta get it off before we go to the National Museum of Wildlife Art. Don't want to track in mud. Look at all of this mud. What the heck? You know what? It's the cloud shoes. I love these shoes. They're super light, easy to pack. But man, these things collect mud, rocks, pine cones like nothing else. If you've ever had a pair of these, you know what the heck? If you had a pair of these, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pine cones especially. Much better. My shoes feel like 2 pounds lighter. This has to be one of my favorite pieces in this museum. How atmospheric this one is with the bison. This one I absolutely love. This reminds me when I was a kid, I would look through these books, and if you look closely at these animals, look at their faces. They're so ferocious. I remember seeing a book with this artist painting in it. And as a little kid, I was terrified, but excited, in awe of wildlife. Check out the size of this painting and this frame. I think I'm a sucker for golden frames. Looks like there's a storm coming. And it also looks like the deer know it. Look at their faces. A little concerned. Albert Bierstadt, Wind River Range.
How beautiful that is. So moody.
And why do you like Albert Bierstadt?
I seen his prints, and I was working with my mom as a kid, and I would stare at these every time I got a break while I was working with her. And these things are they're so emotional when you look at it, the softness, but there's also like a contrast to it, and it's the colors he uses, it's and the composition. It's just there's something cozy about looking at this. And I think his paintings as a child was what made me want to, come to Wyoming, Montana to see the Rocky Mountains and the continental divide. So this was very inspiring. Granted, he did stuff from the Pacific Northwest, which I guess he never actually went to the Pacific Ocean, but I guess it's representational. So this means a lot to me, just being here and seeing his painting in real life. So
Such an interesting painting of 3 bears. And actually these aren't the 3 little bears. And it isn't 3 bears. If you look in the back, there's a 4th bear. Such an ominous painting. A little bit creepy, a little bit eerie. And it's titled, "So, You Want to Get Married, eh?" Here, stand next to it so we can show people how tall this painting is. Now keep in mind that Sia is about 6 feet tall. So this painting is like 30 feet. Nah, I'm just kidding. I absolutely love this piece. I'm a big fan of paintings that are really, really dark and moody, especially with landscapes and wildlife. And in this case, you got this huge, huge storm coming in, and you got the bison coming through. I mean, just look at that herd of bison. It goes way out into the horizon. And you got some deep pronghorn over here, actually, that look a little spooked. But you see how you got the storm, and then you got this moon, maybe even a sun. It could be the sun, actually. But at any rate, you get just a little bit of light. Love this. Love the colors, the palette.
It looks like fire.
Ooh, yeah, it looks like there might be a fire over here, creating this atmosphere.
Blocking out the sun.
Yeah, and then so that makes sense. The bison are just running wild away from it. The struggle of existence. Wild horses, looks like they're seeking refuge from a storm, but also from the wolves.
Kicked in the side. You see that? Bucked by a horse. Nice.
Look at that one. That one,
Didn't make it.
that wolf is taking flight upside down from a horse's hoof. Check out this brave soul. Looks like he's catching an epic photo. Who knows, maybe he's gonna be a meal too. I don't know if I'd get that close to a mother and her cubs. Do you see something in this one?
Yeah, you see the pencil marks on here, and you see some of the brush hairs fallen off, and it's still in the painting. So you see that under sketch, which is really cool. And it's kind of partially exposed still, so it makes a cool little texture.
Look at all of the ducks and birds in this one. I mean, there's so many. There must be thousands of birds in this. You don't really realize it at first. You know, you see the ones that are closest to you. Like, look in the background. All over.